From Atlanta, Georgia, welcome to Fearfully and Wonderfully Me, a podcast for women on leadership and life skills with Ria's story. Ria shares powerful life and leadership principles, helping you maximize your potential and become the woman God created you to be.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode on the power of purpose. This episode really just, the idea for this episode really just came to me the other day. I was reading a new book that I've got, and I've shared with you before. I love to read books because not only do you gain the knowledge from reading the actual book, but a lot of times when you read a really good thought-provoking book, you also not just the knowledge in it itself, but it does provoke thoughts. And those thoughts are probably, to me, even more valuable than the knowledge in the book itself. And what's cool about this book is Mac and I were speaking a few weeks ago up in New Jersey, and someone came up to me after we spoke and said, "You know what? I think you really would enjoy this book. You got to look for this book." And it's a book that's a collection of letters edited by Ellen Spraggins, and it's a collection of letters from women who wrote these little short letters to their younger selves. And the name of the book is What I Know Now: Letters to My Younger Self. So it's a collection of letters that these ladies have written to share some wisdom. If they could go back and tell their younger selves something important relative to a challenge they were facing in their life. And so it's pretty cool. It's kind of the thing that I love because it gives me a lot of insight from a lot of different women. And what's also neat is you don't just get the letter, but Ellen Spraggins has a little bit, just a page or two about what was going on with the woman at the time she wrote the letter, or what the challenge she was facing when she wanted to share the wisdom with her younger self. So relative to a specific time in her life where she was going through a challenge, this is what she wishes she could say. I know that was a roundabout way to explain that, but and then she tells you a little bit about the lady as she interviewed her. So this particular letter was from a lady called Rachel Ashwell, and I'd never heard of Rachel Ashwell, but she is the creator of Shabby Chic. And apparently that's a huge business. I mean, multi-million dollars in annual sales. And she really focuses on making homes comfortable and, just really focusing on making them comfortable environments rather than really spectacular or really fancy. She really focuses on just making them comfortable and livable and using what's at hand. And so anyway, pretty cool. But what I loved about this particular letter is a quote from Rachel Ashwell, because it really talked to me about the power of purpose in our life. And the quote is, "Mediocrity is a superficial effort. What happens when a project is done without passion?" What happens when a project is done without passion? Mediocrity. And I thought about that and I thought, that is so true. That's really why the power of purpose is what the power of purpose is. The power of purpose is it harnesses our passion. And without that, something is missing. Because here's the thing: when you are passionate about something, you will work far harder and far longer than when you are not passionate about it. Because someone without passion, could do a great job on whatever it is they're doing, but they're never going to be quite as excited about it, quite as passionate about it, quite as interested in it. They're never going to give quite that extra inch as someone who's not passionate about it. And, I think back over the years, I've shared with you before in previous episodes, I taught group fitness for 10 years. Really, it was a way for me to stay in shape, and I really enjoyed motivating people in their health and wellness. And I continue to do that. I've had to pull back this year because of our traveling and speaking schedule. And, for me, it really was giving up something that was good. That was really great. It was a really good thing in my life. I enjoyed it. I was excited about it. Um, but it didn't have as high of a place in terms of my time as, speaking and writing and doing things like this podcast. And so as I talk to a lot of people, I'm like, sometimes we have to take things off of our plate in order to focus on what's there. And so for me, it was time to do that with group fitness. But as I look back over the years, I taught a lot of different programs, and I mean, I'm certainly still certified to do that, but I've just had to pull back this year. But as I look back over the years and the months of the schedule and the time that I put into that, it was something I was passionate about because it really was not that much different than writing and speaking. It was just motivating people in a specific dimension of physical health. And I've always been passionate about helping people make a difference in their life. If I can motivate and inspire them in any dimension of life, that's something I'm passionate about. And I look back over the years at the opportunities I've had to do that through teaching group fitness. And what's interesting is that, in fact, I had a hard time saying no to any opportunity to teach group fitness. Whether it was picking up a class or subbing in for someone, if I was available, I would jump on it. And I remember sometimes there would, some other instructors would be like, "Man, how do you enjoy teaching, as many classes you do, and don't you get tired or don't you get burned out?" And the answer was always no, because I was passionate about doing it. And so it was never a burden to prepare for class, to listen to the music. And, it really came easy to me because I was passionate about doing it. And I think that really showed in the classes that I taught because my members always across the board really could feel my enthusiasm and my passion for making their workout fun. And so I didn't mind going the extra inch sometimes, whether that was not just taking the time to listen to the music and prepare, but sometimes it was dressing up in the special costumes, or sometimes it was making them goodie bags for little holidays. Those are just sometimes the little things that helped me connect with my members, getting to know them, learning their names and about them. And all of that took time away from it. But when I'm passionate about doing it, I don't mind doing it. In fact, I don't have to be told to do it. It's just something that fits. And I think about that because, to me, delivering a mediocre fitness experience was just always my second best. And when we're talking about this, it really is relative to the job that we can do. It's relative to our potential. It's not really that we're measuring ourselves against somebody else, because if we're not passionate about it, we won't be able to deliver the same energy, the same level of enthusiasm. I talked to someone, or we emailed back and forth just a couple days ago, and it's someone who's in a similar um, path as Mac and I, and this person wants to do speaking and teaching and writing and is doing that. And they asked a question about how long I work every day. And I had to think about it, and I was like, well, how long do I work? I mean, I've never really stopped to quantify it in hours because I don't really think about it as work. Every single day is the same in terms of, I get up in the morning and I do what I do all day. And so, but it's not work. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs are like that. They work far longer than they ever would at a job. I certainly do, but it's not work. And so you don't perceive it the same because you're excited about what you're doing. And that's the power of purpose. When your activities and your energy gets in alignment with your purpose because you have passion, you are excited about doing it. You are ready to get up and go. There's no looking forward to the weekend or dreading Mondays, because every day is just as beautiful as the one before it or the next one. So, relative to what you're doing in life, if you don't have that excitement and that passion in your job or your career or in your business, take some steps to get yourself closer into alignment with that. Um, because it's so well worth it. Number one, it's going to be far more fulfilling in life, and life is short as it is. We certainly don't want to spend a third of it miserable working in a job we don't enjoy. Now, I know there's some of you out there who think, well, the job I have, I don't really love it, but it pays the bills. And you know what? That might be your situation right now, but that doesn't mean you can't work to find something else that fulfills you, that gets you closer in alignment with your passion and your purpose. And that's really where we see mediocrity falls away, because when you're in alignment with that, you'll be able and interested in going above and beyond. And it's the little things that come down to it. It's not just going the extra mile, it's going the extra inch that helps us become outstanding, because with people, the little things are the big things. And so relative to a career field, if you're I know a wide range of listeners on the podcast, but if you're young and maybe you're in college or maybe you're going to school and you're thinking about what career field to choose, don't just look at what something pays. In fact, that would be far down the list of considerations. Look at your options and opportunities and what you're excited about doing and where that comes in alignment with your strengths and your talents, so something you're good at and something people will pay you for, and something you enjoy. Those all where those things overlap is where your sweet spot is. And maybe you're a little farther along in your career, but you're just not fulfilled or satisfied in where you are. Take some steps to change that. I can't tell you where that path would be where you need to get out and change something, but you absolutely can. I left a very successful career, and it was a good job and a great organization, and I was pretty good at doing it. But it didn't fulfill me like the work that I do now. And so, I would kind of say, oh man, the weekend's winding down, got to go to work tomorrow. And we hear that, we say that a lot. But when we find that we're in alignment with our purpose and passion, every day is just as good as that. There's no more looking forward to the weekend and avoiding Mondays. And I look back at that time in my life where I did kind of dread going back to work on Monday, and not in a bad way, but it just never was as fun as the weekend. And you absolutely can design your life so that you're in alignment, so that every day is fun. What you're doing is something that you really enjoy. Get excited about doing it, because it absolutely is possible. And then you shine when you're in alignment with that, when your passion and potential and your strengths are in alignment. Mediocre falls away because you are excited about it. And think about how wonderful life is if you get up and look forward to every single day. Every single day. Until next time.
Start increasing your influence and maximizing your potential with Ria's audiobooks. Available at audible.com, amazon.com, and iBooks. Please visit riastory.com to learn about Ria's books, resources, speaking, and training programs. Thanks for listening.